Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video I am doing my 2018 reading year in review and my 2019 goals. So I'm first going to start out with all of the stats, and then I'll just kind of move into like an overall discussion, and then I will talk about my 2019 reading goals. So in 2018 I set my Goodreads challenge at 100 books, and I ended up reading 246 books, which amounts to this many pages. I also reread a total of 6 books, which is pretty good. I'm happy with that. I wish I had reread more, but I also want to read new books, so you know. The shortest book I read was Taking What's His by Lex Riley, which was 45 pages. And the longest book I read was the Cocktails Anthology, which was 998 pages. The average length of book I read was 222 pages, which is not very long at all. But I think that calculates like a lot of novellas that I read in the year. The most popular book that I read in 2018 was a reread for me, and that was 50 Shades of Freed by E.L. James. And the least popular book I read was Pride and Surrender by Jennifer Dawson. My average rating was 3.2 stars, which was the same as 2017. So I clearly give a lot of books 3 stars, which is okay. And the highest rated book that I read in 2018 was Millions by Pepper Winters, which has an average of 4.46. And out of the 2 most anticipated videos of the year that I did, like my most anticipated reads of 2018 and then part 2, I had a total of 49 anticipated reads of the entire year, and out of those I read 35. I also bought and read 49 of my own physical books. So either I bought them this year and I read them, or I had read them and then bought them in physical copy, or I read them from my TBR shelf. 49 physical books out of 246 is not good in my opinion. I'm not proud of that stat at all. And I do have a total of 70 favorite books of the year, which you will be seeing in my favorites of the year, but I will also have a top 10. Like I do every year. Books that were published in 2018 that I actually read was 159. 87 of them were from past years, and I had 8 arcs this year that I read, which most of them were e-arcs. I had 1 physical arc. I read 6 YA books in 2018. I read 18 that were either fantasy, magical realism, sci-fi, dystopian, paranormal. They were just non-contemporary books. I read 18 of them, and 22 of them were specifically new adult, but that's always really hard to classify like the age span of a character, because new adult is technically from like 18 to 25, and so sometimes that's really hard to tell in books also. So out of 246 books, I technically read like 22 that were specifically new adult that I could count anyways. 51 books were short stories / novellas, so they were less than 100 pages, which I am not proud of. This is a stat that I'm just like not okay with, that I read more like short stories than anything. It's not a bad thing, and I'm not saying that that's not okay. It's just for me personally, I'm not okay with that. Why did I read so many novellas? I don't know. I read a total of 23 new authors, or like new to me authors, which I think is amazing, and I'm so happy that I actually discovered some really great authors this year that I now consider like some of my favorite authors. Now for some rating stats. I gave 9 books 5 stars. Kind of crazy that I didn't give a lot of books 5 stars this year. I don't know. Then I gave 92 books 4 stars, 94 books 3 stars, 46 books 2 stars, and I ended up giving 4 books 1-star rating. My most read month in 2018 was October with a total of 30 books, and November with 25 books. My least read month of 2018 was June with 11 books and December with 14 books, which is very drastic. Like 11 books in June and then 30 in October. I don't know. My most read author in 2018 was actually Alexa Riley. I ended up reading 31 of their books, which is something that I want to change in 2019. I'll discuss it more, but I read a lot of their books this year. I read a total of 7 books by J.M. Darhover. Is it Darhover? I'm not sure. But I read a total of 7 of her books, and I am so in love with her books and her writing and just her characters, and she's a new favorite author, you guys. She's a new favorite author. Yeah, there's 2 of her books that I don't own physical copies of yet. I ended up reading 9 books by Megan March, which is very strange because I kind of love or hate her books, and 6 of her books I loved this year, the other 3, eh. And I ended up reading 7 books by Kendall Ryan, which I enjoy most of her books, so that's pretty great. That's kind of it for the stats. Now I just kind of want to discuss overall my year of reading. I read a good amount of books, but when you look at the average page length and the short stories that I read, like I read way too many of them, and that is a problem that I personally have. I spend too much time thinking about what I want to read instead of actually reading. And then I just end up reading Alexa Riley's quick, smutty books because I don't know what else to read, or I don't know what I'm in the mood for, so I just kind of settle for something that is not really the best and that I'm just kind of wasting my time on. I didn't read very much YA, which is extremely disappointing to me because I have so many YA books on my TBR shelf in my bedroom, which you will see in a tour soon, but I need to get back on that. I need to keep reading them. I need to get back into it. I just kind of fallen out of the YA a little bit, and I need to kind of push through and get back into that. So that's a goal for 2019, but I didn't read very much YA at all. I also feel like I was very, very harsh with my ratings this year. Clearly I didn't give a lot of 5 stars, but I gave like so many 4 stars and so many 3 stars. I feel like, yeah, I'm a little harsher on ratings now, but also I feel like there are some books that I ended up giving 4 stars that I probably should have gave 5 stars because I sometimes compare them to other favorites and I'm like, oh, do they compare? But then I think about like, would I buy it in a physical copy? Would I recommend it? Do I talk about it a lot? Like, for instance, one of them that comes to mind is Bishop by Sawyer Bennett, and that one I've talked a lot about, but I only gave it 4 stars. So should I have given it 5 stars? Like, I feel like I should have. Does that make sense? I want to be harsher with my rating, but maybe also not be so harsh. I don't know. I feel like I need to find a proper balance. I didn't buy very many books in 2018, which I'm super proud of. I didn't really set like a book buying ban or anything like that. I was just a lot more cautious of what I was buying and of what I was spending my money on, and I'm really, really happy with that. I feel like I didn't go too crazy throughout the year, and I was pretty tame with my book buying, which I'm really, really proud of. I also reached 3,000 subscribers in 2018, which was so crazy. Thank you so much to everybody who subscribed in 2018 and who just commented and liked all my videos and watched everything. I truly do appreciate it, and it means so much to me. Thank you. I ended up getting all of these bookshelves in 2018, which, yeah, I got them I think in like March or February-ish, which honestly feels like so long ago. I mean, it was like a year ago, but it just feels a lot weird. Like I feel like I've had these shelves for a lot longer than that, but I haven't. And I truly love them, and they're the best thing I ever bought, aside from the books on the shelves. Alright, so now onto my 2019 goals. I set my Goodreads goal at 100 books. I set it at 100 every year. It's just kind of what I do. I just feel like if I reach 100, like I'm good. Like I'm happy with that, whatever. However, because I feel like I didn't read up to my potential, I am secretly hoping to hit 300 books in 2019. Which I know is kind of like bad to just set that upon myself, but secretly I really want to try to reach 300. I mean, I was so close this year. I could have, if I, you know, in June, if I read like 10 more books, I, you know, was closer, but obviously I didn't. Yeah, back in 2015, I read like 533 books. 2016, I read 453 books. And then like the past like 2 years, it's gone like really downhill because I've been working and busy, but I put off reading. I think that's like my biggest issue is I spend too much time thinking about what I want to read and deciding what I want to read instead of actually just reading. Yeah, secretly I'm hoping to read 300 books this year. And I also want to read more quality books and less novellas. Less short stories, novellas. I want to read more books that I think I'm actually going to love or like. Or books that I have more of a feeling that I'm going to give 4 stars. Instead of just going into an Alexa Riley book and saying, oh, I know I'm going to rate this 2 stars. Then why am I reading it? Like, what's the point? Right? So I want to stop wasting my time on that, stop wasting my money on that. And it's not to say that I'm never going to read like a novella ever again. Obviously I'm going to, but I want to lessen that. I want to stop wasting my time on that. I love Alexa Riley. I have nothing against them, but obviously I read too many of their books and it's just, there's no point in it for me. So I just want to read more bigger books, more quality books, more books that I have been meaning to read and wanting to read. Which brings me to my TBR jar challenge that I'm doing for 2019, where I have all of my books on my TBR shelf in a jar and I pick for the month and I read those books. I'll leave that video down below. Hopefully that'll help me this year to just continue to read books on my TBR shelf and just get that going, and hopefully I can do that. I also want to try to read at least half of my TBR shelf in my bedroom this year. Just totally doable. I hope I can really do that. And I also want to finally read some books and some authors that I've been putting off for so long. Like, it's really time to read them. Like Mia Sheridan, Mariana Zapata, K.A. Tucker. Like, there's so many authors that I keep putting off that I just like, I need to read their books. I need to do it. I also want to finish some series and catch up on some series. I want to try to do a readathon in 2018 and do kind of like a reading vlog and all of that, TBR video, all of that. I think I'm going to participate in the contemporary-a-thon because I'm not going to be really working around that time. So I think it's going to be perfect. I think I'm going to have time. I think I'm just going to like mentally prepare myself. I think I'm actually going to do it. I think I did say in 2018 that I was going to participate, but that didn't happen. I think I'm really going to do it this year, and I'm going to try to do some reading vlogs throughout the year as well. If I get like in a really big reading spree, maybe I'll vlog it all and then just upload a random reading vlog. I don't know, we'll see. I want to continue buying less books in 2019. I did pretty good last year, obviously, but I want to keep that going. I just don't want to spend my money on things that I know I'm not going to read or that I'm like not really interested in anymore. So I want to just save my money, buy books that I really want. I also want to try to request some physical ARCs this year. I have never ever like reached out to a publisher, so I want to try to do that this year and request some physical ARCs and do that maybe. I don't know, I'm not familiar with it at all, so I'm gonna have to kind of do a little bit of research before I actually do it, but it is a goal for 2019. I also have so many creative and fun videos for 2019. I'm so excited to finally get them all started, and it's just gonna be really fun. I mean, in 2018 I had a lot of videos that I was very proud of, like my on topic videos, which I love doing, and I love just being able to discuss more book, TV show, and movie news and just have like a big discussion about things. I love that, so I'm very happy with my on topic videos. I love my Passion Flicks videos, which I was very hesitant to do, but but I'm so glad I did them because I love doing them. I think they're really, really fun. So yeah, and I have so many more creative ones for 2019. I've also been kind of trying out some new thumbnails. I don't know if you've noticed. They have a little bit more color in them. I'm trying to experiment. I'm just not creative with thumbnails and like artsy things like that. So I'm kind of struggling, but I do want to add more color to my thumbnails and make them more like appealing and stuff. So hopefully I can figure out something with that in 2019. I also want to try to be more active on my Instagram slash my like Bookstagram. So I used to post on there all the time, but obviously I haven't in a really, really long time. I kind of just use it for my Instagram stories. Whether I'm reading a book or having a new video up, I usually post it on my stories. But I do want to try to be active on there a little bit more, post a little bit more on my stories, more of what I'm actually reading or buying or whatever. And also I might try to post an actual post. I just really miss taking pictures of books and just having a feed and just it being really pretty. And so I might start that in 2019. I don't know, I really do, but I'm also just like, I say that every time and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post like once a week, and then I never do, so whatever. I really do want to try though, because I do miss it. So that is it for my 2018 reading and review and my 2019 goals. Let me know some stats of yours or some goals that you have for 2019, and let me know how many books you read in 2018 and how many you want to read in 2019. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!